When replay day arrived, North Melbourne, after 4 solid weeks of finals, were still slightly the underdog, although North showed no signs of tiredness to take a 13-point lead at quarter time. But they were still inaccurate up forward, with 9-12 to Collingwood's 8-7 at half-time, and Magpie fans were confident that the team would be ready to show the benefit of their less arduous finals campaign with a determined second half. Maggie showed glimpses, but North was still running strongly and had boosted their lead to 30 points at the last change, with 34 scoring shots to Collingwood's 19. It did look like North's grand final, but the previous week Magpies had been 27 points up, yet failed to win.
As we're ready to go for the final quarter with umpire Ian Robinson ready to bounce the ball and Captain Bloodshot Dyer.
Well, Bond has been throwing on the ball as soon as he comes on the ground for Collingwood for the start of the last quarter of the grand final of 1907. A beautiful bounce straight up in the air, and it was Thompson getting the knockdown. It goes down to the ground. Picken came in after the ball but couldn't handle it. Here's the one I was talking about before, Cable, with a beautiful hand pass over to Schimmelbusch, and away we go. Another hand pass down the ground, another flip up in the air. It's right down to the half-forward flank position, and you can shut the gate as they go for another hand pass again to Xavier Tanner. Another hand pass getting it over to Schimmelbusch, and Schimmelbusch is rushing straight into the open goal and crash right through the centre. Well, that started with one of those I was talking about, Cable. He picked the ball up with a beautiful hand pass out in the oval of Shimmer. He gave another one down to the ground. He came back and took it himself, and away we went. He's got amazing pace, Schimmelbusch. He burst through and went down, left them all standing. Matt Richardson, he might as well have gone home at that stage as he tried to catch him, as he whirled away from him and went for home. The score's reading now, North Melbourne 16-19, 115 points to Collingwood 12-7, 79. But now here's the bounce of the ball. And a quick goal by North Melbourne, a very handy one to make them 6 in front now. In they go again, up goes Zicky, got the knockout. Icky going down to the ground, another hand pass over to Schimmelbusch. They're going to use Schimmelbusch up now. Here's another hand pass down towards Casson. Casson's in a bit of trouble. He still goes in after the ball again. He whips it out in the open. A chance now for coming back, trying to pull through there at the present time. No one can. It's Bridus. Bridus is trying to beat about 7 of them, but the umpire said he dropped the ball, and the free kick will go to Collingwood. Yes, this is Bond coming in, a left foot kick, straight back towards the centre of the ground. Up they go, they punch the ball down to the ground, no one can pick it up. Coming through is Gordon. He's showing plenty of pace too as he whirls around. He's coming right down the ground. He don't know what to come out to him or go back to him, but he has the lines them up. A good play by Gordon. Well, that was a brilliant bit of play by Gordon, and he's got a goal on the board. That's the answering goal. He came right down from the central position. Had the run on. He was going to hand pass it to Wearmouth, but Wearmouth, the player left Wearmouth coming up towards him, so he decided to go on and kick the beautiful goal for Collingwood. Collingwood 13-7-85, North Melbourne 16-19, 115 points.
Quick opening attacks by both sides, and shortly after, Collingwood again made the play.
Manasseh comes in, he's not wasting time. He comes right down the ground, near the boundary line, puts the big boot into it. It's going towards the boundary line. Up they go. It's punched down to the ground. Dentcher's got the ball. He goes a hand pass. It wasn't a good one at all. And the umpire said flipping the ball in the air, and the free kick will go to Moore. This is Big Moore with the ball. Big fair-headed blonde, turning into a very valuable footballer for Collingwood. There's Moore, as you about would say 45 metres out on a bit of an angle, kicking in from the grandstand side. That's the members' grandstand side. And Moore comes in. It's a good kick. Will it swing in and up? I think it will. It's a beautiful goal to Moore. Oh, a glorious one. If they were close, it could be the match-winning goal. On the bounce, the umpire, not a good one at all. In they go in after it. Bond got the ball. He breaks away. He's balked nicely. They go. Oh, he lost the run of it. So did Cable then, just when he had the ball, Cable. Here's a chance for Anderson. He's going for the big one, Anderson. He's got it too, I reckon. Ireland was it coming down the ground. Ireland was going for the long kick. And they're back in business again, Collingwood. Collingwood 15-7, 97 points to North Melbourne 16-19, 115.
Bounce of the ball in the centre. The bounce flies over to the side, and Wayne Richardson takes it away with a right foot punt. A torpedo in towards the forward line. Dench and Moore, and Dench outplays Moore, and the umpire said it's a push out. Oh dear. Jack, what would you say to that? Well, what wouldn't you say?
I'm not saying anything at all. It was a good wrestle between the two of them. Both of them were wrestling, but Dench using experience on Moore, got him out of the road beautifully then and took the mark, but he gave it the other way, coming from a long way up the ground, the umpire.
And Peter Moore has the chance to make it 2 goals the difference as he comes in directly in front, and he's gone off the side of the boot for one behind only. Well, I think a few North Melbourne supporters are crying out poetic justice.
As Bridus bobbed through another behind, Barassi brought Nettlefold onto the ground in place of Elves on the wing.
Here's a chance for Bridus again. Bridus chasing after the ball, had it knocked out of his possession. Picked up there by Perry, who dribbles it along the ground out to Barham. Barham takes off, goes into third gear and gets the ball up to the half-forward line. A fight there with Gumbleton and also Twiggy Dunn. A handball by Twiggy Dunn over to Bond. Bond, 2 bounces, 3 bounces, coming down the ground with a 4th bounce. Now left foots it in towards goal, looking for more. More in front, goes up and takes the mark. And a great piece of football by the Magpies.
Beautiful football. Bond, a beautiful kick down to Moore too. Judged it beautifully. Moore got in front too. They had no hope of taking that one off him.
No, he had that extra couple of metres and Dench, no matter what, he didn't know whether to go back and take guard of the goal or whether Bond was going to fire at the Moore, and Bond slipped it right down Moore's throat and Moore could lean forward and grab the ball. Peter Moore swings around. The umpire said play on, but he's brought the crowd to their feet for a goal. And the Magpies have got another chance. 16 goals, 8. That brings them along to 104 points. North Melbourne 16-20, 116 points. The difference is 2 goals at the 9-minute mark. Half-forward flank. The crowd right on their toes as the Magpies have fought their way back into this game. From 30 points down at three-quarter time, that's now only 2 goals the difference. Boundary umpire throws it in. Thompson gets it down, but he's knocked it straight to Blight, who does a beautiful block, handles to Cable. Cable lines up the goals, and he's put it through. A beautiful goal to Barry Cable.
Nice bit of play by Blight too. Blight gave him that one right on the plate. He served it up to him, Blight. He waited for Cable to make that position, gave him the hand pass. He couldn't do it himself, Blight. Cable just walked away from the pack and straightened up and neatly put it right through the centre. No rushing or tearing or anything like that, just neatly right through the centre for another lovely goal. And he was the one I was talking about. You can't leave him by himself because he knows how to do things.
North Melbourne have sent Keenan down to full forward, Baker up into the ruck. And it's been noticed in the last couple of bounces that they've been more shocking the knockout by Len Thompson than worrying about tackling him in the ruck. Here it goes again with Thompson, and Baker goes in. The ball back up on the air, and a second tap down by Tanner. In towards half forward it goes. Gordon was grabbed. The ball hits the ground, picked up there by Picken and driven out towards half-back, but the mark is there to Billy Nettlefold. Nettlefold drives back with the right foot for North Melbourne in towards the half-forward line. They set themselves. No one, almost played there, but the umpire said play on as Gordon picks it up. Handballs over to Shaw. Shaw breaks away. Goes around to Baker and drives with a drop punt into the forward line, and Moore charges out and grabs the ball. Sutton was doing a little bit of wrestling there with Renee King, and Moore came in over the top and pulled down the mark. And with 4 goals on the board, Peter Moore again looks as the big danger mark for North Melbourne. They sensed it because Dench was thrown back on the Peter Moore, but still he's able to come in and take these big grabs. Peter Moore, 20 metres out directly in front, fires for the big sticks, and he's brought up another one.
Nice, quiet one.
5 goals to Peter Moore. Collingwood now move along to 17 goals, 8. And that brings them up to 110 points. North Melbourne, 17-20, 122. We're back to 2 goals the difference.
Young Shane Bond was again in the action a few minutes later.
He's got the ball in front of him again, Bond. He's showing plenty of pace. They just get to him. Couldn't do so. It's a free kick down the ground. They're throwing it away, North Melbourne now. It's possible going down there. They're going to give a free kick right down the ground.
Reported Phil Baker, one of the umpires. Cracker's keen enough the ground. McCann is on.
Waiting now for the Barham to go back. This is a dynamite one if he can kick this one. Waiting for Barham now with the ball coming in. Barham, 15 minutes gone, the last quarter. There's a kick by Barham. It's a beautiful kick, but it's well offline, and it'll go through for 1 point only. Waiting for Worthington to kick in. In he comes, a standing kick by Worthington, dropping a bit short. They go in, McCann's up. Nettlefold's after the ball, tries the handball up Blight. Blight lines the goal mouth up, he's going for home. And he's got it, I think, yes, it's a goal. Kick by Blight, it was a bad kick by Worthington. And now the score's reading. North Melbourne 18-20, 18-21. Settle down again. 129 points to Collingwood. 79, 111 the Carlton United Brewery scoreboard. Has the bounce now in the ruck. And it's just Baker in the ruck against Thompson. In they go in after it. Up high goes Baker, and Thompson goes to Nettlefold. He immediately puts the boot into it. Out towards Bridus again. Can Bridus mark the ball? It bounces. In he goes after it again. They're trying to knock it away. Bridus is coming into it. Is caught around the waist. Tries the handball. Gets it across to Nettlefold. He makes a mistake. He's relieved by Bridus again as he gets the ball. Gives it a Cable. He looks for someone to kick it to. Up they go in the air, and the mark has been taken by Johnny Byrne. This is John Byrne of North Melbourne with the ball and could be within kicking distance.
Way to have a shot anyway, Jack.
Yes, keep it down there. Byrne comes in. Goes for home. It's a good kick. Oh, they're waving their arms. He's put it through. And there's another goal on the board to North Melbourne.
Well, the North Melbourne boys have answered that thrust by Collingwood. They look as though they were going to do something there. They got to within, 11 points at one stage and really going on with the game, and it looked dangerous, but they've managed to come back and get that run of the ball again and get possession. It makes all the difference.
Nettlefell's given them a bit of a hand, Ian. By Josie, but playing some strong football there. Here's the ball hit out there away again as the ball hits the turf. It's Tanner coming down the ground, going for the big one, right down to the forward zone again. They fly high. It's punched away by the defenders and go through for 1 point. One more point to North Melbourne. Very valuable. 1922 it is now. 136 points to Collingwood. 17-9, 111 points on the Carlton United Brewery scoreboard.
And we've got a crowd of 98,366. Here's the kick out by Worthington over to the grandstand side. Almost paid the mark to Gordon there. It's down on the ground. Collingwood fans saying, what about the mark too at the back of our cars position? Flipped over to Manasseh. Manasseh has one bounce of the ball. Breaks away from Nettlefold. Two bounces, three bounces. Coming down with a rugby grab. Eludes the Montgomery. Comes in again. Manasseh drives in towards goal. And he's put it through. What a fantastic piece of play by Manasseh. A real match-lifting piece of play. But is it too late?
He has brought the crowd right to their feet again. A brilliant bit of play by Manasseh. He balked about 5 players coming from the half-back line, and he lined the goal mouth up from a very acute angle too and put it right through. When he's brought the crowd down, it was just about a stand-up ovation for him.
Phil Manasseh 3 goals, and he's certainly shown determination to redeem his performance of last week. Back in the centre of the ground, we're into the 20-minute mark. Collingwood 18-9, 117. North Melbourne in front, 19-22, 136. Here's the bounce of the ball in the centre. Up it goes, a beautiful bounce, straight in the air. Thompson backflips it in towards the half-forward line. Gilbert came across Kelton there. Kelton handballed over towards Cable, and Cable got it with the left foot into the forward line. In towards Hyde, but he couldn't get it. Flipped over by Byrne in towards Blight. Blight goes for the left foot kick, hugging the forward line. Up they go in the air. No one can mark the ball, and the ball has been forced over the line and out of bounds by Worthington. Baker back down on the forward line at the moment. The boundary umpire has the ball. Rassie moving around depending on which way the play is going, if North Melbourne's in charge or if it's defending. Boundary umpire throws it in, a big knock away by Worthington. A beautiful tap out over towards Magro. Magro with the right foot up towards the wing. In goes Nettlefold, couldn't hold the ball. Picked up here by Montgomery, who charges away. Gets the right foot kick into it, deep in towards the half-forward line. Up they go, and on the chest, Baker. Baker comes out, grabs the ball, hugs it to the chest, and is going to line up from 45 metres out from goal.
Yeah, that's
Baker's pointing to Manasseh on the mark. Manasseh didn't even know he was on the mark. He was just feeling his aching limbs as he moved to the side. And Phil Baker comes in to line up the big sticks. It's on its way, but it's drifting away. I don't think it passed through at that time, and it's only one behind. North Melbourne 19-23, 137. Collingwood 18-9, 117. The difference is 20 points at the moment. North Melbourne starting to feel a little bit confident. Collingwood will have to get a little bit more desperate. The kick out for the half-back line. It's down on the ground. Wearmouth grabbed when not in possession after it came off the fingers of the pack. And Wearmouth takes the kick at centre half-back. A standing punt in towards the half-forward line, looking for Twiggy Dunn, but Gumbleton thumps it away. But it goes straight to Gordon. Gordon breaks a tackle, handballs to Bond. He tries to get away from one tackle. They've brought him to the ground, but the umpire said a push in the back. And Shane Bond will get to his feet. Oh, a little right cross came out there, and the umpire is moving in, but I think they'll allow Bond still to take his kick. And Shane Bond at centre half forward. The bustling going on down on the last line of the fence. They've got more hemmed in. Up they go in the air, and Croswell goes over the top. But there's a push earlier, and the umpire said the free kick is going North Melbourne's way to Daryl Sutton. They're really having poor Peter Moore in down there. As well they should too, because he's got 5 goals on the board, and he's the most dangerous weapon Collingwood have got there. He's the big gun. Daryl Sutton taking plenty of time. Now says to the umpire, look where Shaw's come, but really Moore's on the mark. And now the umpire says, will you kick over one or the other? Now the umpire cries play on as Shaw goes into tackle, but the floating torpedo goes out to the half-back line on the grandstand side. In they go with a raised elbow, but it didn't do Gordon any good as the handball goes to Mel Blight. A handball over to Barry Cable wasn't all that good. Cable has to pick it up, and his handball is smothered there by Magro. Magro beautifully gets out of the pack. Handballs to Kick, who gets a little nudge in the back, and it's going to be a free kick to Renee Kick. Time ticking away, 25 minutes gone, they have to get on with it, and Renee Kink does. He drives straight into the forward line. Moore in front, stands his ground, almost played the mark. Down on the ground it goes, breaking the tackle there. It's good work from Bond, who handballs it over to Wearmouth. Wearmouth gets a handball into his teammate in Shaw. Shaw flips it back, but it's a diving mark to Brent Croswell, who saves the day for North Melbourne. And you can be sure Brent will go back and have a cup of tea if he can.
He's a national player, isn't he?
He is. I think he loves these occasions.
Oh, yes.
He really does. Brent Croswell comes in. Drop punts it out to the half-back flank. Out towards Len Thompson, but Blight flips it out of Len's hands. It's down on the ground. Betts is now on the ground for Collingwood. He's caught. The ball hits the ground. John Byrne was legged, and I think the umpire will pay the leg to John Byrne. Time is flitting away for Collingwood as a short pass doesn't gain any ground, but it wastes more time. And Mel Blight has the mark on the central wing position. There's a battery of about 21 cameramen waiting there, filming Ron Barassi. Tommy Hafey is being left alone at the moment as the kick by Blight goes into the half-forward line. Picken couldn't take the mark. Ireland breaks his way through. Ireland comes up the ground with the ball in his possession, trying to pull off a desperate act. Couldn't quite do so as the ball was dragged away from him. The cameraman's cables from the TV cameras get in the way of Byrne as he was going towards the boundary line. A handball came off, but it was all to no avail, and the ball was forced over the line and out of bounds. Boundary umpire throws it in. Up it goes in the air with a flip out by McCann, and he gets it over the back to Tanner. Tanner's kick wasn't marked by Picken, who dived for the ball. It's down on the ground, stacks on the mill, and umpire will come in and ball it up. Half forward line. Time now really getting into the frustration stages for Collingwood. They'll have to pull off a miracle at the moment as Blight goes over the top and flips the ball on the ground. Manasseh, who pulled off one miracle in this quarter, swings it around to the half-back line, but Montgomery's there, and they're really tightening those ranks. Montgomery goes back, Cable saying, take it easy, take your time. Centre wing position. North Melbourne holding the key and all the cards to the game. Boots into the half-forward line. It's through the fingers of Picken again. A flip-off by Len Thompson, but it's once again North Melbourne there. Brightest leading in the run for the ball. The umpire said he dropped the ball. He was tackled by a couple of players, and the free kick going Collingwood's way, and going back to take it will be Chris Perry. Here's the drop punt by Perry in the right position, but the North Melbourne defence goes over the top. Gumbleton thumps it to the ground, but it goes straight to Betts. Betts of Collingwood with a left foot kick into the forward line. 3 North Melbourne here. A handball by Schimmelbusch to Henshaw. Henshaw's in trouble, but Schimmelbusch goes back and helps him out. Schimmelbusch tagged by the jumper and will take the free kick. Here's the kick by Schimmelbusch out to the wing position, and coming up to take a good mark on his chest is Dench. Dench with the right foot kicking towards the pocket on the outer side of the ground. Brightest leading on the run to the ball, grabs the ball, swings back in towards the sticks. It's across the face of the goal. Up it goes, over the line and out of bounds. I think it was touched in the boundary umpire. No, it wasn't touched, and the free kick is going Collingwood's way. The handball is up to Gordon. Gordon drives the ball in towards the centre of the ground, and Little Bond is there to take the mark. He's certainly played well since he's come on. Bond has had a little bit more life to Collingwood. Broken away, but he's been tackled by Cable. Cable dives in the attempt, but couldn't make it, and Bond has broken into open territory. He's now run about 50 metres, bouncing the ball 3 times. Sends a beautiful short pass in. Collingwood fly through Barham in towards goal. This is going close, and I think Barham's put it through for goal. He has. And the Magpies are up to 19 goals, 9 behinds, 123 points. North Melbourne, 19 goals, 24, 138. 29 minutes gone. The bounce of the ball back in the centre, and Captain Bloodjack Dyer on 3KZ.
Here's the bounce in the dying stages of the game. Up they go, up goes Blighty, punches the ball out, but apparently it's going to be a free kick to Thompson, and Thompson's going back, apparently interfered with. Shepherding in the ruck, and Thompson will take the free kick in the centre of the ground.
15 points the difference.
15 points the difference. In he comes Thompson going for the big kick. He's relying on the big fellas down there, but up they go, and a nice mark was taken in defence here by Carlton. Carlton with the ball now, going back to have the kick in defence, gives the hand pass across to Henshaw, who's played a great game in the back pocket. Henshaw going right around to the wing position now, out to the half-forward flank position. Up goes Brightest. He's got the ball. Schimmelbusch, watch him go, man. He's got the ball in front of him, picks it up like a chook picking up a bit of wheat. Has 1 bounce, 2 bounces, 3 bounces. Comes right down, has a big fly at the goal mouth. In it goes. I think it'll go through. A beautiful goal. Oh, what about that one?
We've seen some highlights with personal bounces.
Manasseh was glorious, so was that one there. He comes right around the boundary line. Look at the players going over to him. That was the finale, I reckon, for Collingwood of 1977. North Melbourne 2024. It's a big score, 144 points. A leading Collingwood 19-9, 123. In comes the umpire again. Thompson and McCann in the ruck. McCann for North Melbourne comes across. Up he goes. Punches the ball. Goes down to the ground. Thompson comes in. Can't handle it. Picked up by Tanner. It goes down to Manasseh. Manasseh has 1 bounce of the ball. Coming right down the field with a long kick. It goes down to where Cable sits in between the packs and takes the mark. And this is Cable having a look around. Calm, cool and collected. Goes back to have the kick, looking for someone to kick it to, and the time to get by yourself, which Henshaw does, and he takes the mark. He immediately handballs across. Gets gets it across nicely. It goes across towards Montgomery, but he loses the run of the ball. It goes to Shaw. Shaw's in a bit of trouble and gets pushed over the line and out of bounds. In they come. It was Kink giving the hand pass across, and down they come. Bill Picken going down the ground. Moore sets himself. Up he goes. He's marked at 2 more. And Moore with the ball now as we're getting into a time off. We've had in the time off periods about how many minutes gone now?
7.
7 minutes gone. Waiting now for Moore to come in for Collingwood. There's the kick by Moore. It's a good kick, but it's going to swing away this time by Moore. And there's going to be 1 point goes on the board to Collingwood. 19-10, 124 points. North Melbourne still in front, 20 goals, 24, 144 points. Henshaw with the ball in the back pocket. Henshaw coming in. There's the kick by Henshaw. It's a good one out towards the wing position again. Up they go. No one marks the ball. Goes down to the ground. They're waiting now for a bit of pace by Tanner. Tanner's got the ball. I think he'll give it a Schimmelbusch. He should, because yes, there's going to be a short man. A short kick coming in. And Bridus will be there to take it. Another hand pass over towards Baker. Baker with the ball going for a hand pass back to Bridus. And Bridus runs into the empty goal. He's put it through, and that would be it, I think. That would be it. Beautiful football again from North Melbourne. A lot of hand passing coming down the ground, drawing the man towards him. That's his 5th goal, is it? A beautiful performance by Brown and Bridus today.
Umpire Robinson moves in to bounce the ball. Down it goes on the turf, and Thompson goes in. McCann goes in also. The ball down on the ground. Renee Kink gives a little bit of a shove as they try and break their way around the neck there, and the free kick must go to Collingwood and Wayne Richardson. Wayne waits for the ball to come back and lost the run of it just at the last moment. Now goes back in, grabs the ball, handballs over the top towards Betts. Betts turns around, boots with a big torpedo in towards the forward line. Kelton in front, at the back, Gumpleton. The ball knocked to the ground. Little Bonder's dispossessed of the ball, and Henshaw goes in, picks up the ball, has 2 bounces, goes out to the half-forward flank on the outer side of the ground. Coming up the ground is Dench. He breaks away, runs around like a rover, gets the ball down towards Bridus. Bridus lets go with a big kick in towards the forward line. Baker at the back of the pack, up he goes, and you can see that coming. The Collingwood players didn't have the run, and you can see Baker just ready for that extra little bit of a spring. The ball drifted over the top, and he grabbed it.
Brassey took it with him too. He went right up in the air down there. Took a beautiful mark, Brassey.
Oh, and he's missed it. From 15 metres out in front, Phil Baker has blown it off the side of his boot. And the scoreboard shows North Melbourne 21-25, 151. The Collingwood 19-10, 124. And we're into the 39-minute mark. Worthington ready to kick the ball back into play. Ron Barassi can't even see the game. He's got so many photographers in front of him. The kick by Worthington is out to half back, and Kink goes in to take the mark. Kink with the ball.
Kink coming back on the left foot, drives it down the ground, but Carlton is there, and Carlton for North Melbourne will take the mark. There's the siren, and 1977 final replay has been won well by North Melbourne. North Melbourne 21-25, 151 points to Collingwood 19-10, 124, and that was on the Carlton United Brewery scoreboard.
Stan Alves has done 5 leg jumps and rollovers.
And so has Keenan too.
He can't believe it. Stan Alves was back at the gym class. Then he just rolled over, jumped in the air, rolled over, jumped in the air, rolled over, and Barassi goes out. Well, it's another one of those. Well, if Collingwood won it, it would have been one of those record stories from bottom to premiers, but it's certainly been the grueling 5 weeks for North Melbourne, who were rabble before the finals. And while that may sound strong for a premiership contender, you would put them in the disorganised class, and they're now up to the premiership of 1977. And boy, what a different side they looked on the final day.
1977, a memorable year, an incredible final series. This is Ian Major on behalf of co-commentator Captain Blood Jack Dyer, 3KZ's expert panel, Ted Whitten, George Ferry, Ian Cooper, Gerald Burke, and John Beckwith, wishing you good luck and good listening.
Top station for football news, 1180